I tried the 50/30 rule, the envelope system, and every budgeting app on the market. At least that's the way it felt. And I failed every single time. It might be a little strange to hear this from me because I'm Teresa and I'm a certified YNAB coach and a certified financial coach. But my own past struggles are exactly why I'm so passionate about this today. As a person who manages the budget for both my husband and myself, our family, each failure felt twice as heavy because I was convinced I was just bad with money. But it turns out the problem wasn't me, and it's probably not you either. It's the methods that we use themselves. So much traditional budgeting advice relies on making you feel guilty about your spending, which is one of the worst ways to create change that actually lasts. It wasn't until I found one specific method, a program called YNAB, that our finances completely turned around. Like, I like it so much, I decided to get certified so that I could teach others how to budget using YNAB. I finally started sticking to our budget without the constant stress and guilt because of YNAB. And today, I'm sharing with you how it works. For years, I was stuck on a hamster wheel of financial frustration. I would talk to my husband about it. He would create me another spreadsheet, which never worked. We just decided that I would be the one that managed the budget because with his job, he traveled all the time and he just wasn't able to keep up with it with his time constraints. I had more time than he did, so I got tagged with managing the household finances. So every month after he would create the spreadsheet or I would print something off of the internet, every month was like the same story. I'd fire up the spreadsheet or download a new app, and I would be excited about it thinking this is the month that it all clicks for us. I started with what everyone calls the gold standard, the 50/30/20 rule. It seems simple enough: 50% of our income for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for saving. But real life, especially with two people, doesn't fit into this neat little box. One month, an unexpected car repair will blow up our needs. The next, a friend's wedding would obliterate our wants. Every time I had to shuffle money around, it felt like I was breaking the rules and failing. And worse, it would spark a tense conversation with my husband about why the perfect plan wasn't working. It felt like a rigid law, and if the numbers didn't match, the budget was broken in my brain. So I switched to the envelope system, which was better, but I figured making our spending physical would be the key. But it was better. So I divided our cash into envelopes: groceries, gas, date night. And it worked for a couple of weeks, but then I'll be at the store needing to buy toilet paper, but our household envelope was empty, or maybe I forgot to bring the envelope because I didn't like bringing cash with me. The groceries envelope had cash, but using it felt like cheating instead of feeling freeing because I was borrowing from another envelope. The method felt like a financial straitjacket, turning money into a constant source of stress and sometimes disagreement. It was a chore that required a lot of discipline that we just couldn't keep up with, or either we just didn't keep up with it. So every single failure hammered home this toxic belief: I was just fundamentally bad with money. I felt this wave of guilt with every little thing I picked up, I bought that wasn't in my color-coded chart. Experts talk about budgets as a solution, but for me, they were my problem. They were all about restriction, which just made me and my husband feel deprived. And that feeling is a powerful trigger. Psychologists says it's like an extreme diet. The more you tell yourself no, the more your brain screams, yes, yes. Our budget wasn't a plan. It was a punishment, and our brains were naturally fighting against it. We were trapped on a wheel: try, fail, feel guilty, repeat. And it was exhausting. After years of this, I was done. I was done. I was ready to just accept that budgeting wasn't for people like us, and I was going to just go back to my paper and pen. But God. But then I stumbled across an idea that changed everything, and I'm sure it has been more than 10 years ago. What if the problem wasn't the math, but the psychology behind it? Most budgeting fails because it's built on a flawed idea that we're rationally robots, but we're not. But our financial decisions are rarely logical. Most of the time, they're always usually emotional, especially if we don't plan it out. The real reason our budgets keep crashing wasn't our lack of willpower, because I had the willpower and he had the willpower to go over it. It was a set of invisible mental roadblocks or limiting beliefs that were sabotaging us. And when you're a team of two, these roadblocks can easily get amplified. And guess what? The first was a scarcity mindset. I saw money as this limited resource that was always about to run out. This creates a constant hum of anxiety. From a place of scarcity, you might hoard every penny or you might splurge impulsively because you feel deprived. For us, it meant I would panic about a small, unplanned expense. I remember it like yesterday. And my husband would get frustrated by my constant anxiety because he was chilled, relaxed. He's a little bit more calmer than I am. A budget just felt like proof of what we didn't have. The second barrier for us, mainly for me, was the all or nothing thinking. I was convinced that to be good with money, we had to be flawless. One surprise expense, one category my husband went over in, and I felt like the whole month was a write-off, start over, do it again. This perfectionist trap led to burnout, and it would lead to burnout for you. Instead of seeing a small slip up as data, I saw it as total failure, which made me want to quit and made my husband feel like he was always doing something wrong with not creating the correct spreadsheet. Finally, I was drowning in fear and regret over past mistakes. I'd look at our credit card statements or our pathetic savings and just feel so ashamed and so afraid. Focusing on the past kept us paralyzed. This cycle of regret is a distraction. These mindsets, scarcity, perfectionism, and fear were the real villains. They were the rotten foundation every failed budget was built on. And no app could fix that. No printable budget could fix that. It was shaky ground. This brings me to the secret sauce, the method that changed everything for my husband and I. You need a budget, or YNAB. YNAB isn't just another app. It's a complete philosophy with 4 simple rules that are specifically designed to dismantle those psychological roadblocks that you and I have. It rewires your internal beliefs about money first, so your external actions can finally fall into place. Rule number 1. Give every dollar a job. This directly attacks the scarcity mindset. Instead of looking at your entire bank account and feeling so overwhelmed, you only budget the money you have in your account right now. Not what you have coming, but the money that you have in your account right now. You ask yourself, what does this money need to do before I get paid again? You assign every single dollar to a category: rent, groceries, car insurance, fund money. Suddenly, you're not focused on what you lack. You're making a proactive, intentional plan for the money that God has already trusted to you, the money that's already in your account. You're making an intentional plan for the money that you have in your hand right now. It turns financial anxiety into a sense of control. Rule number 2, embrace your true expenses. This rule was a game changer for us. It acknowledges that life includes large, infrequent expenses like car repairs, annual subscriptions, or holiday gifts. Instead of being surprised by them, YNAB has you create categories for them and contribute a small amount each month. Victory! That $600 car insurance bill that comes twice a year, you just budget $100 a month for it. When the bill comes, the money is just sitting there waiting for you to pay that bill. This eliminates the fear and panic of those budget-busting surprises. It's a proactive strategy, not a reactive panic. And right now, I'm getting choked up. And I have to share this with you. I remember when my husband used to create spreadsheets for us, like I might forget that we had like a major bill coming up. It could have been the car insurance, and it would catch me off guard because I forgot to tell him to put it on the spreadsheet. So if it wasn't on the spreadsheet when the bill came, I would just go into a panic. I would have to try to move money around so that I could cover that expense. So what I'm telling you, this is a game changer. Like, I'm so sorry that it has caused me to be reactive, but it reminds me of where we were and where God has used YNAB to bring us to where we are now. It has relieved so much panic from my life because once I enter it in YNAB, my husband don't have to go back for year 2027 or whatever and redo the spreadsheet, because he was always trying to do the spreadsheet to accommodate my brain and the way that I needed to do the budget. So this is a sidebar for you. YNAB can change your life. So now, moving on, rule number 3, roll with the punches. This is the ultimate antidote to all or nothing thinking. YNAB understands that life happens. You will overspend in a category. You're human. You're not perfect. perfect. Instead of seeing this as a failure, YNAB tells you to just move money. If you overspend on groceries by $50, you just look at your other categories and decide where that $50 can come from. Maybe less from eating out this month. It's not cheating, it's adapting. It's adapting your money to your life, not your life adapting to your money. We control the money does not control us. This rule gave my husband and me the flexibility that we desperately needed. It turned "you went over budget" into "okay, how do we want to adjust our plan together?" It transformed a budget from a rigid cage into a flexible living document. Rule number 4, age your money, is so important and it makes you feel like you're winning. This is the final goal, and it's how you build true financial peace. The goal is to gradually spend money that is at least 30 days old. This means you're using last month's income to pay for this month's expenses. I want to pause here for just a moment, because if you're listening right now and money feels heavy, you are not alone. So many women and couples tell me we're paying the bills, but we're still living paycheck to paycheck. We're carrying debt and we don't know which move to make first. If this describes you and you don't need a long-term program or a 3-month commitment, my Clarity Consultation Program is designed just for you. This is a focused conversation where we look at your finances, identify what's keeping you stuck, and you walk away with clear, practical action steps you can take right away without it being time-consuming or so overwhelming. If you're ready to stop guessing and start making progress, click the link in the description to learn more. Now let's get back to it. And you know what that means? You're a month ahead. It creates a built-in buffer between you and your financial life. When you achieve this, guess what you've just done? You're no longer living paycheck to paycheck. You break the scarcity cycle for good and start operating from a place of stability and abundance because you are a month ahead. This rule isn't about restriction, it's about creating freedom. Before we go on, I want you to hit pause for a second. What's the biggest source of friction in your budget right now? Is it a mindset like scarcity, or is it trying to get on the same page with a partner? I want you to drop it in the comments. Just acknowledging it is the first step. Now, okay. So YNAB has these 4 rules, but how does it actually feel different? Let me tell you. This is where the magic, the blessing really happens. The YNAB method and the app that supports it doesn't just give you a plan. It supercharges your mindset and it feels like you've gotten authority over your money. It's the glue that finally makes budgeting stick. For my husband and me, it became a communication tool because he has it on his phone. Before, our budget was a source of conflict. I was the bad guy in my brain, enforcing rules that didn't work, and he felt restricted. But with YNAB, the budget became a shared, neutral territory. It changed everything. We could both see where the money was. The apps give every dollar a job. Rule turned our financial talks from arguments into strategic strategy sessions. We weren't pointing fingers. We were and are a team deciding what our priorities were then and what they are now. The pay yourself first method used to feel terrifying with the scarcity mindset, but with YNAB, paying yourself first just means you have savings categories like emergency fund, vacation. This gives jobs the right to alongside you. So when you give every dollar a job, you're putting it alongside with what you have, the vision that you have for your money, like rent. You set that money aside. It becomes an act of confidence. Automating that transfer is no longer a scary risk. It's a proactive step that aligns with our identity as a couple that builds wealth. YNAB is essentially a digital version of the envelope system, but without the straitjacket. If your household envelope is empty at the store, you can't borrow from your grocery envelope, especially if you left it at home in the dresser drawer. But with YNAB, you just open the app, move the money from groceries to household right there in the aisle, and guess what? You're done. You have the money to cover that expense. The plan is updated. Rolling with the punches moves all the guilt and shame and rigidity. The secret sauce is realizing that the right method is the right mindset. YNAB gives you the why, intentionality, flexibility, and the resilience, while the apps gives you the how and the structure. Together, they turn budgeting from something we dreaded into an empowering act of building the life we actually want together. Your action plan. I have 3 simple steps for you to start today, and I want you to call this your action plan. I know everything that I share with you, I know that it was a lot. So let's boil it down to 3 actionable steps you can start today. Step 1, identify your money story. Before you even think about the software, grab a journal. Ask yourself, what did my parents teach me about money? What feelings come up when I think about my finances? Anxiety, stress, or excitement, or tears like just jumped on me when we were talking about me forgetting big expenses. If you have a partner, have this conversation with them. Get on the same page about your financial histories and fears. Pinpointing your shared limiting beliefs is the single most important step to changing them as a team as you work together. Step 2, I want you to go to YNAB, start the free trial, and give your dollars a job. Don't try to build the world's most perfect budget overnight. Go to YNAB website and start their 34-day free trial. And if you would like an additional 60 days free, then you set up a free consultation with me. I'll see what I can do to help you. We'll set up your YNAB account for a fee, of course, because it's time and I care, but I need you to have some accountability. Set up an appointment with me and we will set up your YNAB together. You'll get an additional 60 days free, and I'll also be available to answer any additional questions for you for the next 30 days. So once you go to YNAB, if you feel like you don't need my help, go to the website and start your 34-day free trial. Then do just one thing. I don't personally link my bank account. I'm not going to recommend that you link your bank account because that removes responsibility and accountability. So I'm not recommending that you link your bank account because I don't. If you go in there and manually do it, you're building your relationship with your money. You're not just letting everything flow through easily. So once you have your YNAB account set up, I want you to give every dollar that's currently in your account a job. If you have $300, $400 that you have not already written a check off of, that's money that you have in your account that I want you to give every dollar a job. Don't worry about future income. Just focus on the money that you have right now. The goal is to prove to yourself today that you can create a plan for your money. Don't let your money make plans for you because you're broke. Step 3, track and roll with the punches. That's what's so relieving about YNAB. So for the next 2 weeks, use the app on your phone to track your spending. But here's the key. Do it with the curiosity of a scientist, not the criticism of a judge. You are not looking for what you did wrong. You're just gathering data about your spending habits. When you overspend in a category, and you will, practice rule number 3. Open the app, find the money from another category, and cover the overspending. This isn't about guilt. It's about getting comfortable with being flexible and making intentional choices. For years, I bought into the lie that my husband and I were just bad with money. The truth is, we were using tools that were designed to fail because they worked against our human psychology. Traditional budgeting doesn't double down on restriction and shame, which are terrible long-term motivators. The secret to finally making a budget stick isn't a fancier spreadsheet like I was trying to do, which I had my husband trying to do. It's a profound shift in method and mindset. It's using a system like YNAB that's built on abundance, progress over perfection, and guess what? Flexibility to get rid of the guilt and the shame. It's about blending that powerful psychology with a simple, actionable plan. Building wealth isn't some innate talent. It's a skill, and it's a skill that you and your partner can learn together. Your challenge for this week is simple. Pick just one of those 3 action steps. Just start there because financial confidence is built with small, intentional actions, not by waiting for perfection. If this helped you see budgeting in a new light, hit that subscribe button, or you can send me an email at teresa@bartelscoaching.com. And if you would like assistance for a small fee to set up your YNAB budget, your budget that will change your life, a budget that can break the paycheck to paycheck cycle, I'm encouraging you. Send me an email and we'll figure out a date and time that will work for both of us I will help you set up your YNAB budget. In addition, you will get an additional 60 days free. And also, I will make myself available to you for at least 30 days. So if you have questions or you run into a bump in the road, I will be able to assist you to get back on track. Budgeting is the number one way, the first step that you need to take in order to break the paycheck cycle, to save money and to live a life of abundance. If you're living without a budget, you're walking in the blind. You're spending your money. You don't know where your money is going. When you look, your account is down too low. Get on a budget. You are not bad with money. You just needed the secret sauce, which is YNAB. So again, if you would like my assistance, I am here to serve you. I want you to win with your money. And if you need help with the secret sauce, which is YNAB, if you want to give every dollar a job, if you want to control your money and not your money control you, send me an email, Teresa@bartelscoaching.com, or you can leave a comment, say help, let me know how to locate you, and I will reach out to you and we'll get together and start your YNAB budget. We're just not entering into 2026. Let this be the year that you start controlling your money. Your money no longer controls you. Thanks for watching or listening if you're on the podcast, and I'll see you the next time. Toodles!